Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. Updates from Erik ten Hag's press conference ahead of the Wolves versus Manchester United match. As ever, Reds, get involved in the chat. We love to see it, and we will read out some of your comments throughout today's video. First of all, I think we've got to get it out the way again, and it's Marcus Rashford. Obviously, he was asked questions about it, but he did come back, Erik ten Hag, and he said he's taken responsibility, and the rest is an internal matter. Case is closed. I think the club statement is clear, and we now have to focus on winning football games. In football, you need discipline, you need discipline on the pitch and off the pitch. So I still think he's pointing the finger at Marcus Rashford there, don't you? Case might be closed, Erik, but he's still pointing the finger.
Yeah, I think that was a subtle dig at Marcus Rashford and anyone else. Professionalism, we all know. Footballers aren't professional on and off the pitch at times. Things do happen. But he's had a go at Marcus Rashford. Very subtle dig at him. But hey, he's entitled to it. He's been getting sticked, Erik ten Hag. Straight away the question came at him. And to be honest with you, I think he was laughing. I think he was smiling. Yeah. He knows what's coming. Case closed.
How do you think he handled it, though? You know, as the manager of Manchester United, them questions being put to him.
I thought he handled it all right, to be honest with you. I mean, you and I, we've not been too happy with a lot of ten Hag's recent press conferences, pre-match and that. But today, I thought, what we've seen of it, I thought he handled it very well. Dismissed it. They came at him again with it. But I think he was just smirking and laughing and sort of saying, well, go away. I'm getting the backing from Ineos, and they're right behind me on this.
What we forgot to answer, actually, and discuss yesterday was whether we thought Rashford would actually start the game versus Wolves or whether he'd be on the bench, etc. As you know, out there, your regular viewers, there's no script here. Everything's off the cuff. So I do apologise for that one if you watched yesterday and wondered where our opinion on it was. So I'm going to ask you now, do you think he'll start, Rashford, or do you think he'll be on the bench?
Tell you what, I think listening to Erik ten Hag there, he's going to put him in. What you've got to remember...
By put him in, I know you mean starting 11.
Yeah, I think he's going to start him. What you've got to remember is Erik ten Hag has confirmed that he will have the pick of his best 11 for this game. Yeah. That's what he said, getting all the players back, and he includes Marcus Rashford in that. So listen to him. Do not be surprised if Marcus Rashford starts tomorrow. I will be surprised. I will be surprised because I think when you look at the two wingers, Anthony and Garnacho, I think they'll find it a kick in the teeth, to be honest with you. I don't think it'll do the squad the world of good bringing him in. But hey, that's my opinion. You've got yours and that. But it will be a surprise. But he sounded as though he's going to bring him in.
Well, I would say Garnacho's definitely done enough this season and in recent games to definitely start this game. Anthony, on the other hand, I know he did score against Newport, etc., but you know, he's at them performance levels throughout the 90 minutes, you know, where you're confident with what he's doing on the pitch. I'm certainly not at this moment. So maybe, possibly, you might see Garnacho on the right-hand side and Rashford on the left with Højlund up top.
Listen, Garnacho wants the left-hand side. Yeah. You know, the kid's done enough, regular now. He's right up to the game. He knows what it's all about. He's got the fighting spirit. Why keep swapping this kid? Why should he be moved around for Marcus Rashford? But, you know, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. Proper interesting. Yeah,
let us know what you think on that. If you think Rashford will start the game tomorrow, or do you think he'll come on off the bench? Me, personally, I do think he'll start the game. We did see an incident last time at Wolves away, didn't we, where I think he was late for a team meeting. He started that game on the bench, but he did come on and he got a goal. And after the match, he was interviewed and... you know, he accepted his mistakes.
Oh, well, let's hope he's interviewed after the Wolves game.
Well, let's hope so, and let's see what he says. But we do expect a response from him. If he starts from the first minute or he comes off the bench, just like all the players, we need a response in this game.
Yeah, you need a response from Marcus Rashford, but he's professional enough and he plays the game. He knows what to do and he knows to put in a response. It's what Marcus Rashford does.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on social media that this incident with Rashford shows a lack of authority that ten Hag's got in the dressing room, or do you see this just as like an isolated incident where a player has just shown a lack of respect for the manager, the club, you know, his teammates and the fans?
You have to look at it and say Marcus Rashford's shown a lack of respect for everything, and that includes himself.
Okay. That was a short one.
Very short.
Very short one.
I've gone on about him all week now, last couple of days especially, and that's what it is. Lack of respect to everything, and that includes the fans. And I think the fans come first.
Yeah, he was asked on Rashford actually recapturing his form, which we've not seen really for large parts of this season. Some might say not at all. But he said the last 2 Premier League games, 2 goals and an assist. This is developing a strong bond between Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund, and we want to continue that process. Now, I think Højlund has scored 3 goals in his last 4 starts for Manchester United. You know, going into the second part of the season, you know, he could start like building up some momentum, but we need them both to do that.
Well, he talks about momentum and the bond and going between Rashford and Højlund. Listen, there's no bond between Højlund and any forward, and that includes Garnacho, Anthony, and anyone else you want to put out there. Højlund has lacked the ball to him, to his feet, to his head, everything. And Rashford, there's no bond there. I don't know what he's talking about when he says the momentum, keep it going. There is no momentum when you talk about forward play. We are absolutely down at the bottom when it comes to stats for scoring goals. When you look at other teams. So there is no bond. Rashford, head down, runs into the corner, headless chicken, but they all seem to be doing the same when it comes to feeding Højlund. So there is no bond. So I don't get what he's saying there, to be honest with you. Maybe he's just playing with words or something, but there is no momentum. Højlund has been isolated, frustrated. We've all seen it. And you just see Rashford just look up. If, you know, we're talking about Rashford. He's talking about momentum between the two. Well, Rashford just seems to be able to do what... Where's the crosses from Rashford to Højlund? There is nothing. Rashford comes off and runs in, doesn't do it. Doesn't do it for me. And they've all not been doing it, to be perfectly honest, with Højlund. He's been isolated. So I'm not really sure what is going on about there.
Do you think it's a case of, look, with Rasmus Højlund, but I think we all know we need wingers who are actually going to get to the byline or close to it and put crosses in, you know, deliveries for him so he can make his movements in and around the box to get his head on it or his foot. Do you think it could possibly be better where we can see Anthony on the left-hand side and someone with a right foot on the right-hand side? You know, instead of having these so-called inverted wingers where they're constantly having to cut inside, because it doesn't seem like it is helping Højlund's game, that.
I think what it is, it's tactical and they're not getting it right. I think what it is when you talk about wingers coming inside, I don't like using the word inverted. It's not in my vocabulary, but hey, I'll try it every now and again. But for now, wingers coming inside, because that's what it is. Wingers what regularly come inside. I think what's expected is the 2 fullbacks to go up down the line and overlap and do the crosses, and that's not happening. So I think it's the style and the tactics what's hindering, and really not enough balls are coming because the 2 fullbacks, whoever they are, I mean, they've not been the same fullback, so you've got to put your hands in the air here and say, hey, we've not had a settled side, so it could change. But as I see it with my own eyes again, right, I don't see them fullbacks doing the job what you used to see wingers doing. But it doesn't work for me, wingers coming inside. Doesn't work at all.
Do you think Højlund is a positive on Marcus Rashford's game or like a hindrance? Because if you look at him last year, Rashford coming in from the left-hand side, he was the main man. He was the one who the team and us fans looked to go and create and score goals. And he did do that, 30 goals last season. Whereas this season, do you think the instructions, what he's probably being given in terms of he's now having to create for Højlund, is just not suited to his game?
It might not be suited to his game, but I don't think having Højlund on the pitch is a hindrance or a help for Rashford. Rashford's problems are his own problems.
No, I get that, but I'm just thinking in terms of what the instructions are this season now from Erik ten Hag. Maybe them instructions have changed, and Rashford himself just isn't that player, a creative player, like some may say with Jadon Sancho, who will look always to create for the centre forward, whereas Rashford doesn't do that. Like you mentioned before, he has his head down quite a bit, looks to beat 2 or 3 men at a time.
Yeah, it seems that all the wingers are doing that. So it could be a hindrance.
Yeah.
Rashford coming inside, but Anthony does the same. Garnacho does the same. And like I just said before, it could be the tactics and what's failing and what's sort of like exposing the lack of chances for Højlund is the actual two fullbacks not able to go past and behind the defence. And I did say yesterday, we need to get behind the defence or Højlund will be isolated and will be frustrated. So maybe with a full 11, what Erik ten Hag believes is his strongest side, it might change.
Yeah, I did mention Mason Mount as well. That it's too soon for him. Andre Onana will return as well. We did discuss Andre Onana yesterday, but you preferred Bayinde to keep his place in net. Let us know what you think and your own personal opinion. But it looks like he will start the game tomorrow.
Right, I have to pull you. Okay, sorry about this, son.
No, it's
but
not
I
a
have
problem.
to pull you on words. I didn't prefer Bayinde. I said I thought Bayinde would start. I thought the reason being is because with what's gone on with Onana getting to the African Nations Cup, all the chaos around it, his form there and all the chaos getting back, I thought that Onana might just go on the bench and that's it. And that's the reason why I thought Bayinde would play. I thought it a little bit rushed, thought he'd be there. So when you play with words, son, right, I will catch you out now and again.
Okay, well, I'll pull you as well because I don't know who Bayinde is.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Bayinde. So
but
that's 1-1.
Yeah, that's
Like
1-1. All right, yeah. But, you know, play with words, we're there, but no.
But Mason Mount, can I just stick to Mason Mount then? Because we've obviously just gone over Bayinde.
Yeah.
But Mason Mount, are you concerned with the injuries this season with Mason Mount?
I'm absolutely flabbergasted that there's not been much more press about him.
He did say he's close to being match fit, but this is a bit too soon.
Listen, Mason Mount and other players, it's always like what you keep it. Oh, he's close, he's close. November, calf injury. Strange calf injury, this. I've not really... When I look back at players, injuries and that, calf injuries, 3 months. That's a long time in my mind. You know, you might know differently. There might be someone out there that says, no, this is normal for a calf injury. But I have to have a big worry here when you look at Mason Mount. His injury record, looked at it there, his hip, everything else, the loads of injuries what he sustained at Chelsea. And I think we've got to look at him, and I think he's a serious worry going forward. What's the name? When you look at it, the medical, everything, all them people what are in charge of looking at players' welfare and everything. When they bought this player, they should have took this into account because he's just been on the bench, not on the bench, but on the table, the fitness table, and he's been treated all the time. I think there's a serious worry going forward, and for the amount of money what's been paid for this player, some people have to be looked at, and maybe some people have made some bad moves, deciding that this player is worthy of that transfer fee.
Yeah, a couple of, when he was at Chelsea last season, he was out for 34 days with the first occurrence of the pelvic injury. Then it must have come back again. And then he was out for another further 36 days. And, with United this season, if my maths is correct, he's missed a total of 19 games already this season. So,
well, that's a lot, especially when you've paid that much money for him. When you look at the injury, what he had, a pelvic injury, I mean, the amount of running, the amount of football players have to do, that pelvic is taking a strain. And I think someone's got to be seriously looked at because I don't think they've done the job proper.
Yeah.
That is serious problems and time missing from football.
Yeah.
19 games he's missed.
Yeah, if you look at the whole of the last 12 months, let's say, that's a lot of games that he's actually missed.
Yeah.
But shall I say a lot of games. Well, for Manchester United, if we've got it right there, 19 games he's missed. He missed a few games, obviously, for Chelsea last season, but they weren't European football, etc. Yeah. But, that's a lot of days. The first instance was 34 days. Then it must have reoccurred. They mustn't have treated it right. And then he was out for another 36 days. So,
like I say, it's a big worry going forward. And for the amount of money, heads might roll here.
We did discuss, actually, Mason Mount in yesterday's video, but I can't remember a lot of comments coming back underneath the channel when we actually asked which is Mason Mount's preferred position or his best position in this Manchester United team. So if there is anyone here today, let us know, because obviously with the limited amount of game time we've seen of him for Man United, I'm still not 100% sure what his best position is. Is it in that centre midfield area where you could possibly have Mainu or Casemiro sitting and he's just a bit further forward? Or on the left-hand side, in that number 10 role, Bruno plays on the right-hand side?
I don't know where he plays.
Sure,
No, I'm not too sure. Yeah. So if anyone has got any stats, any info of this is where he plays, please let us know. Anything to go on the game tomorrow? Actually, you know what? Quick one there. Facundo Palestri, I've seen come up before that he's over there. Looks like he's on a loan deal to Granada for the rest of the season. Yeah, if you look at decision. Yeah, I think so. I think they're looking at slimming the squad, getting these young players out there, getting the experience. But I think a lot of it now, if you look, I think it's about 10, maybe 11 loans have gone out this month. And I think what you're looking at there is a big clear out in the summer. Gore, Palestri. I think these players will go. I think United will cash in on them, get the money in. If you look at Hannibal's having a terrible time over there in Seville. There is something definitely wrong there, and maybe that is an indication of why he's gone out on loan. Maybe.
Their chairman actually rubbished them reports earlier this morning. There was some reports coming out about Hannibal, about his attitude, etc., but their actual chairman, I forgot what his name is, sounds like a Russian gangster, to be honest with you, but he come out and rubbished them reports. But like you say, there's a lot of loan deals that have been done with loans going out of Manchester United, and maybe that's just to maybe trim the wage bill at the moment, but also look to offload a few of these youngsters who, the team just don't think are good enough to take Man United forward. You mentioned Gore there, though, but I think it might be a bit too soon to send him out on a permanent deal, I think he does need another loan spell maybe next season. But he's only just recently signed a new contract as well. But
value
who am I, Erik ten Hag and the staff might see the value by signing them up on a new deal, a long-term deal, to get the
value in the sale. Fee. Yeah, listen, Ineos are in now. They're in charge of the football. And it's a lot of players to go out there. Yes, we've got Sancho in that. And we've got Erik van der Beek. Donny van der Beek, sorry. They're out there. How we get any money for them, I'll never know. But hey, these young players, they've got value, and I think it's high time United started cashing in on them. If you look, will a lot of these players move into that team? I don't think they will, and I think the new regime now, what's in there, dealing with football, is looking at cashing in, and it's all changing the summer with a lot of them.
Yeah, he did say, like, going into the actual Wolves game, he said, we are quite confident, and on our best days, we can beat anyone. On our worst days, we go down to certain limits, which, let's face it, Erik, it's players throwing the actual towel in and not caring. But he then did say, it's not acceptable, so we have to push our limits to high levels, and on our worst days, get our results in. Everyone in this squad is convinced about this.
Basically, what he's saying there, what you have said out there to us and what we've said on here is, you haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue what you're getting from one game to the next. And that's what he's really saying. He knows, or he's saying, we can beat any side, the top side, and then we can go out and get beat by a lower side. In other words, you don't know what you're getting from game to game. That has to change, and he believes that'll change because now he's got basically his best 11 on the pitch. He's got the players there to pick his best 11. So at the end of the day, Erik ten Hag is under pressure here, proper pressure, because he believes this is his best side, and these players he's had for a while now.
I also wanted to get your thoughts on, and everyone out there, Sofian Amrabat. I think they've got knocked out Morocco in the AFCON, so he should be on his way home as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I think he actually got sent off again in the game against South Africa, but what do you think he's been like up to now at United? Would you want to sign him on a permanent deal come the end of the season?
I wouldn't want to sign him. I think a lot of people got carried away with him at first. Yes, he played left back and that. It was a poor side at the time. If you look at the start of the season, how we won some games I'll never know in my life. Never know in my life, But we won him. He was in the side, bobbing about. No, not for me. Not long term. Loan player. We didn't buy him. There's an offer there, I think, to buy him at the end of the season, but that won't be on the cards. I think the football strategy now is to move these players on and not waste time with them. Not for me.
He's not done enough for me either, to be honest.
Certainly hasn't. He's not strong. He's had moments in games, but that's not what we want here at Manchester United. We've got a new regime coming, and it has to change. You know, we can't have players what just come in and just fit in for a couple of games and that, a lone player here or whatever. No, it's not on anymore. Yeah. Yes, Amrabat, I liked him in the World Cup. I've liked him at United. I've liked his commitment. That's all I'll say about him. I've liked his commitment. But not every game he's played well.
Yeah, the only game that really stands out in my head is here at home to Chelsea. And Chelsea weren't great that day, let's face it. But I do agree with what you say. His commitment's definitely there. But then again, shouldn't we have more players like that in this squad? You know, what is the actual transfer fee for him? Is it about £20 million? But could that be put to good use on other players in the summer? Probably could do.
It'll be wasted if it's spent on him.
Okay.
That's all I can say, because we need pure quality now, and we need top players. That's what's got to come in the summer.
Yeah, you've got to look at our midfield already. You've still got Scott McTominay in there. You've got Mainu, Casemiro. For me, if Mainu and Casemiro are fit, it doesn't get ahead of either of them two. So maybe I've got to look at it in the summer and maybe cut that short.
The money has to roll in, and the money's got to be spent on quality. Quality, what's going to take us further and challenge for these teams, or we're just going to fall right behind. And I don't think Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Brailsford and all that lot are looking at straight away starting these young kids. They need to stabilise what's going on so we don't fall too far. And I think the odd youngster here and there might work. I thought a couple of months ago, best thing to do is clear out these deadwood players and just bring in the youngsters. But at the end of the day, that then just leaves us so far behind. It'd be virtually an impossible task to catch up to him.
Anything to add on tomorrow's game? Is your scoreline changed at all? I think you went for 2-0 for your score prediction. Let me know your score predictions in the chat as well.
No, my scoreline prediction hasn't changed. I just fear for Højlund. I thought about it again last night and I mentioned it yesterday. And I just fear for him not getting the ball. The tactics there, they have to get behind and they have to cross that ball, and it has to go to his feet as well. He's good with it, his feet. I mean, he's digged out a couple of goals there, right?
Where he's created the goals
where he's
himself.
Created it, yes. So the opportunities are there. Every striker misses chances. We know that. Andy Cole, I use him as an example. Great striker. My God, the chances he missed was unbelievable. I mean, he cost us the league one year at West Ham. Cost us the league. Yeah. Should have scored. We should have beaten. Blackburn got beat at Anfield and they won the league. But Andy Cole should have scored. But that's what happens with strikers. Some go in, some don't. But it's getting the chances. And Højlund doesn't seem to be getting the chances. He's not getting 4, 5, 6, 7 chances like a lot of strikers do. And that's frustrating him and me.
Yeah, and you think it might have like a bit of a detrimental impact on him with frustration, etc.
Yeah, because players sort of tend to stroll out of the game, not get in the game, and just get angry, and they're not on the toes. They tend to stand on their heels. Do you know what I mean? So I just hope Højlund gets what he deserves, and that's the ball, because there's enough quality to get the ball into him. It's just not being used right, and some of the tactics up front is proving to be a problem for Højlund.
Yeah, some man for one man says a Højlund goal, Højlund book. My tip, frustrating role he plays. Mick Cypher, cheers for your super chat, mate. Says top United fan channel, sensible, respectful opinions. Much appreciated for your chat, mate.
Thank
and
you.
Everyone else who got involved today. But I think we'll wrap it up there. I just thought you'd do a bit of a brief overview of Erik ten Hag's press conference. Anything we missed out, please get it in the chat and we will have a discussion with you later on.
Yeah, you see what people
I'm gonna
have got.
To get you a bell, you know.
Yeah, I know. I need a bell. You
need a bell.
Yeah, I think what everyone has to remember. The other week we spoke about 4 games being the most important. Tottenham, this game tomorrow against Wolves, then the West Ham game, then the Aston Villa game. This is a must-win game. Must win. There's no ifs or buts about it. We must win. Erik ten Hag has put all his eggs in one basket by saying, I've got all my players back. So, you see, there's a collision tomorrow. Erik ten Hag, this is my best squad. I'd be able to choose my best 11 and we must win, because if we don't win, we fall further behind and could be 11th. We're out of everything.
So you're basically saying he's also then run out of excuses because he's put all his eggs in one basket to say, performances, results will improve once I've got my strongest starting 11 back.
Once I've got my strongest 11 back, right, performances will improve. Now, obviously, some of them players won't be 100% match fit, so you can give him a little bit of leeway till Sunday, okay? But this is what he's expecting and what we should be expecting now. Proper football, goals, because we ain't scoring goals.
We need goals galore. Just thanks to everyone for joining us. Please smash a like on the video. Share it as well amongst your friends and family if you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you again tomorrow. We'll either do a match build-up before the game or straight after the game with a match reaction with the 3 points. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.